They say St. Patrick's Day is a lucky night. A night for laughter, music, and drowning your troubles in pints of beer. That's what I thought too, before last year, before everything changed. You see, there's something they don't tell you about this holiday. Behind the parades, the songs, and the endless flow of whiskey, there's an older story, a darker one. I didn't know about it, not until I lived it. Now, I wish I never did. It was the night of March 17th. The city was alive. Streets packed with drunk crowds wrapped in green, the smell of beer and rain hanging heavy in the air. I wasn't much for crowds, but I'd promised my buddy Connor I'd join him for a drink. Said he knew a place off the beaten path. Old Irish pub tucked away in the back streets. O'Malley's. I should have never gone there. The bar was hidden down an alley I'd never noticed before, even though I'd lived in Boston my whole life. The brick walls were cracked, ivy crawling up the sides like fingers trying to pull the building down. A wooden sign hung above the door, swinging in the wind. The paint so faded I could barely make out the name. Inside, the place felt wrong. The air was too warm, too heavy, like something was breathing in the walls. The crowd was lively, but the laughter sounded forced, hollow. A fiddle played softly in the corner, but no one could see who was playing it. The bartender was a wiry old man with cloudy eyes, the kind of eyes that had seen things best left forgotten. Connor was already there, 2 pints waiting on the table. He grinned when he saw me, clapping me on the back. Told you this place was special, didn't I? Best Guinness in the city. I didn't want to sit down. Something inside me screamed to leave. But the warmth of the whiskey, the sound of the music, it lulled me in. I took a sip. The beer was dark, rich, but bitter. Bitter in a way I'd never tasted before. That's when I noticed him. He sat alone in the corner, half hidden in the shadows. A man in a faded green coat, his face pale and drawn, with eyes too bright, like he was seeing something none of us could. He never touched his drink. He just watched the crowd, watched me. When our eyes met, he smiled. Not the kind of smile you give a stranger. The kind of smile that says, "I've been waiting for you." I should have left then. I should have walked out into that rain-soaked night and never looked back, but I didn't. Instead, I bought him a drink. Some twisted part of me, thinking it would break the spell. When the bartender placed the glass in front of him, the man's smile widened. He raised his glass to me and said, "A kind heart on St. Patty's. A rare thing indeed." His voice. God, his voice. It was low and hollow, like the wind whispering through a graveyard. He leaned in close, too close, and whispered, "Be careful what you take tonight. Some gifts can't be returned." I laughed it off, thinking he was just another old drunk. But something about the way he said it, it buried itself under my skin. The night went on, drinks flowed, laughter echoed, but the man never left his seat. His glass stayed full. His eyes never left mine. Around midnight, the bar started to empty out. Connor had long since stumbled out into the night, leaving me alone with the old man and the bartender. I finished my last drink, ready to head home. But when I looked down, my beer had turned black. Not dark like Guinness, black like tar, thick, swirling. I pushed the glass away, But the bartender, that old bastard, just smirked and said, "You took the gift." I stumbled out into the cold night, the alley slick with rain. The city had gone, silent. The crowds, the music, all gone. The air smelled wrong, damp earth, like something freshly buried. I heard footsteps behind me, slow, heavy. But when I turned, there was no one there. Then I saw them. Figures shifting in the shadows. Tall, thin things with hollow eyes and twisted smiles. They followed me, always just out of sight. Their whispers filled the air, calling my name. I ran. I don't know how long. The streets twisted and stretched. Alleys I'd never seen before, looping back on themselves. No matter where I went, I always ended up back in front of O'Malley's. He was waiting for me. The man in the green coat, standing beneath the swinging sign, gold coin in his hand. He tossed it to me. I caught it without thinking. It was warm, too warm. He leaned in close, breath like rotting leaves. A deal is a deal. Everything went black. I woke up in a graveyard at dawn, mud caked under my nails, the taste of earth in my mouth. My wallet was gone. My phone smashed. The only thing in my pocket was that coin. I've tried getting rid of it, throwing it in rivers, burying it in deep holes. It always comes back. Every St. Patrick's Day. It's there waiting for me. I see things now. Shadows that move when they shouldn't. Whispers in the wind that know my name. And every night since, I hear the sound of distant laughter carried on the breeze. They say St. Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland, but not all of them. Some of them, they wear human skin, and one of them is still waiting for me.